will say, when you're welding MIG and you can't have a fan blowing off gas for you, it gets hot. So I'm gonna take a break every few minutes and get in front of a fan. So we're gonna do that because I am pouring. Got it all tacked in there. I guess we'll see if it fits. Give myself a little bit of wiggle room. So if I gotta get this tank in here, square it up when my sheet metal goes in so it's all cut on a straight edge. And got a couple exhaust tips. While the welds are cooling off back here, we're coming back up to the front. I'm gonna readdress this. What I did was I took the engine mount and I went as far back as the edge of that cross member back there. And of course the ear of this engine mount is now unsupported, which means the top side would only be up there. I've measured, I've re-measured, I've measured again. There's no distributor in this block. I've got 9 inches of clearance between the top of the distributor where it sits in that intake manifold and the windshield wiper cowl, which you guys will see in a picture. And the HEI distributor is exactly 9 inches. I am going to cheat a little bit. MSD has a remote coil per cylinder ignition pack, and basically it replaces the distributor with a little aluminum billet cap there. It has a couple wires that come out and feeds it to an ignition module, and that's how you do timing, because if I ever have to pull a distributor, it's going to prove very difficult, as in I'm gonna have to pull an engine. And with the distributor cap inside of the cabin, I will have to be standing here with a timing light, and that, while it still can be done, is gonna prove quite difficult. So I am gonna cheat with a little technology. MSD has a setup to solve that. I'm thinking I'm gonna scoot this engine a little further back. I have 14-inch air breather, which when it was slid all the way forward on the motor mounts, it basically touched this firewall. I can get a 10-inch, an 8-inch, and a 6-inch breather hat. They also have a low profile that comes off and your filter sits off on each side. So we're thinking that, but since I'm up in the ante, saying this thing not only has to go fast straight, it's got to go fast in the turn. It has to stop. I want it to handle. I want it to drift. I want it to hit every major point, what a car should do in my mind. So we're going to take this engine out yet again. After I pull it out, I'm going to make a engine mount plate that will buy me a few more inches. Obviously, I don't have to worry about a harmonic balancer, but I will measure from the center point of this distributor to here, and I'd like to run a 10-inch breather. So as long as I have 5 inches, and right there I'm sitting probably 7 inches, so I have a couple inches I could go back. Better center of gravity, better handling. As far as the height of the engine, I got a transmission outside that I'm gonna mock up, but oil pan and frame rail not too far off. And when I put a piece of 3/8 plate in there to extend that engine back another couple inches, it'll raise that a little bit. As far as inside, like I said, that distributor, if I ran a traditional HEI, would be hitting the cow. But this is how far in the engine bay, or how far into the cabin that this engine's sitting, and it's probably still going to come back another couple inches. So after a few days of thinking about it, after talking to Doug, after looking how he clearanced his oil pan, how he did it, I have decided to crawl up under here if you want to see. Sliding that thing all the way back to the back of the cross member did buy me a little bit, and again, I could massage that oil pan up. I would cut it and put a little radius in it, but if I come back another couple inches, it will be no problem. And I've looked at the blueprints and the specs for the rack and pinion that I'd like to use, and it should clear, but I don't have it. And until you get it here and start mocking it up, you don't know that it's going to work. So we are going to assume I'm going to use this steering setup for a little while, at least to make it steer while I'm building. So I want to go ahead and buy as many inches as I can. So, but basically my right calf is probably going to be sitting on the firewall to the bell housing of the transmission right there, because that's a brake pedal and that's a clutch pedal. So where the clutch pedal sits is going to become where the brake pedal sits, and where the brake pedal sits is going to become where the gas pedal sits. And we will run a built paddle shifted automatic. I know. In my old age, I want to put a car in drive and go get coffee, and then I can reach over, and I'm going to run a 4L60E, so there will be a little bit of electronics involved in the transmission. I can choose, shift firmness, shift speed, all that. I can slip a shifter over into manual and paddle shift and automatic for sport mode. So again, it's going to be the 9th, 10th, I don't know what time to pull this engine back out so I can make those engine plates, but it's decided. And then if we slide further back, there's my fuel cell rails. So I'll let those cool off and I set that fuel cell back in there. So back to pulling the motor out. Got the new engine mount plates cut. Got them sprayed down and some weld through primer. I'm doing that because I'm gonna have two pieces of metal sandwiched on top of each other. I don't want any corrosion getting back in there. This car will be able to be daily driven. So it will have AC and it must be streetable. That's one of the requirements. Anybody can build a car that is not capable of going on the street, but it'll be a license tag, street legal vehicle to lay down some rubber on some people. While I'm waiting for that to dry and cool off, I got my scale out. I've got a set of sealed power. These are a match weighted set. Part number H631CP. It is a stock bore Chevy 350 flat top, two relief valves cut, flat top piston. I don't know if you can see it, standard. So anyway, I'm going to, they say they're match weighted. I'm going to number these in the box and see if they actually truly are match weighted. And then when I get the rings, I'm going to check them again because it doesn't hurt to check things twice. So we'll see what we come up with, how close they match weighted this set from the factory. Trust no one. They did a really good job. I mean, they're close. A couple gram difference. No more than a couple gram difference. So what we'll do is when I get the ring set and get them file fit to the bore, I'll add those to the weight of the piston. If they wind up still being a few grams off on each, I know it's chasing a few grams, but each piston with its ring set, file fit to the bore, they're all going to weigh the same. But anyway, I don't think I'm going to weld in the engine mounts tonight. I'm beat, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm hot, so we'll leave it here.